What's good, Internet? My name is attackslug, and welcome back to SVR 2006. I won the Rumble. I'm heading towards No Mercy, and then eventually heading towards WrestleMania, but ECW is in the way. Well...
All right, players. Listen up. This Sunday is No Way Out. The last pay-per-view before WrestleMania. And I want to get the WWE title back before the granddaddy of them all. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've convinced Rob Van Dam to put his title on the line this Sunday. But I had to make it a tables, ladders, and chairs match to get him to do it.
Against who?
No problem. He can have any kind of match he wants. I'm still walking out of there the WWE champion.
That's what I want to hear, dawg. Now listen up. We've got to bring this ECW problem under control, ASAP. So tonight, you need to team up with Big Show or Booker T to take on Chris Benoit, Tajiri, and Spike Dudley in a no disqualification 3-on-2 match.
Wait.
Now, I know that your team will be a man down.
Why?
But whoever you don't choose will guard the stage entrance and make sure ECW doesn't send any surprises your way. You dig?
Couldn't you, like...
Don't worry, Teddy. Tonight, we're going to send a message to ECW that they're done. Once and for all. This time, they're not coming back.
I hear that, player. So who's going to be your partner? A 7-foot, nearly 500-pound Big Show? Or the five-time WCW champion, Booker T?
You couldn't find a third guy to help me from SmackDown. There couldn't be anybody else on SmackDown who wants to help against ECW. You could only get the Big Show and Booker T. That's bizarre. Where's John Cena? Seriously. You can't go wrong having a giant watching your back. Show, you're with me. Booker T, make sure nobody interferes. Booker, me and you, tag team, playa. I know Show will make sure that the only clowns are going to be the ones in the ring that we're facing. Yeah, I'm going to say, if you're going to have a tag team match, you choose a tag team specialist, and that would be a Booker T. Also, Big Show lost to Kurt Angle earlier in the evening, and why is Taker teaming with Charlie Haas? The world may never know.
Booker T!
And so, I welcome you to a Tuesday here on the program. It hasn't been a fine Tuesday in a long time, but I'm still here. I'm still doing it. And I'm still talking about wrestling and such. And man, there are more consequences to discuss in this fallout from the entire Speaking Out movement. As such, go check Twitter for that hashtag, etc., etc. So the update for today is that Impact has terminated the contracts of Joey Ryan, as they should, and Dave Christ, as they should. They have suspended Michael Elgin, so that one is still on the fence. We'll see, pending an investigation, etc., etc. Paige's mom has quit wrestling, or quit teaching and running her company over in the UK, at least for the time being. She says, screw you guys, don't accuse me, I quit. I'm not sure how that pans out, because there are investigations ongoing in the UK, so that is a thing that could be happening with multiple people over there with that. So that, again, we'll see. But no, the big news from yesterday was one Sammy Guevara. And this one's a little bit different than all of the very, very serious accusations about abuse, physically, mentally, etc., etc. Sammy had made a very unfortunate comment on a podcast 4 years ago that, again, should not have been made in any stretch of the imagination about Sasha Banks. Like, just completely uncool, shouldn't have done it, right? And AEW responded as they should have by suspending Sammy without pay, and he has to go take classes and will be further evaluated, etc., etc. So I'm sure he'll be fine in the long run with that. I don't think they'll fire him. I think if they get Haddock out of rehab, they'll probably end up firing him because his was obviously a much more severe, he did some stuff, allegations. Whereas a comment on a podcast, yeah, shouldn't have said it, inappropriate, totally wrong, but not on the same level as literally abusing people. It's a whole different scenario, in my opinion anyway. Elsewhere in the news, as I'm almost going to get put in a crossface here, apparently WWE Backstage will no longer be a weekly thing, and might not be a thing at all unless it's in front of a pay-per-view or something else of that nature. So that show, not long for this world. So I feel bad for Renee Young, who is in charge of that show, and definitely very talented. So that one is, yeah, a little rough. But again, Fox does not seem as high on this product as they once were at this point. So it's, you know, an unfortunate reality in the beardness part of the beardness, considering the pandemic and everything else contained therein going on with that whole. Really, Spike, this game is very generous to the size and the musculature of Spike Dudley. Like, he's looking real swole in a way that he never did in real life. What the hell? Why the hell? But escaped that one, and I'm getting my tail whipped. And again, I only care about my WWE title shot. So these matches that are in between, very inconsequential in my opinion. And yeah, Spike, sure. Do that. I'm going to talk some smack, and you tag in the Japanese buzzsaw Tajiri, and have a reverse DDT. Now, elsewhere, in some non-wrestling news, game news, but also used to make wrestling game news, Yuke was announced making a new video game. It's not their wrestling game. They're making another Earth Defense Force spinoff. And you guys know, if you watch the show, watch the channel, that I love Earth Defense Force. That last spinoff, Iron Reign, was not all that great. So this one is voxels. It'll be on the Switch, and it looks very like Minecraft-y type stuff. It's alright, look. It could be good. I don't know. It's not out yet. But Yuke needs to work those contract deals to make some money while they're working on their brand new wrestling game at some point that they've said they're making, so I'm hoping it'll happen here and there somewhere. Like, I'm hoping it's still being made, but again, we have very little details on that whole thing. Booker, you're in the way. You're not helping, Book. You're not helping, Book. You need to help. No, get back in the ring. Get back in the ring. He has a sledgehammer. That ain't cool. That ain't right. So it is Tuesday, which means that Monday Night Raw happened last night, and there are things to discuss from that bit of show with the big show. But no, Dolph Ziggler is back on Raw as part of the trade for the phenomenal AJ Styles. The Zigman returns with his "it should have been me" type business, or whatever you want to call it, and he wants to challenge McIntyre for that WWE title, because of course he does. It is yet another transitional feud for Drew. He beat Lashley, he'll beat Ziggler. I'll be curious who he fights at SummerSlam. If we have it in a building with people, we'll see, but that all is, yeah. It's fine. Like, that match will be great, I'm sure. Regardless of his character booking, is still a very good worker in the ring, so that one is fine. The in-ring work I'm not worried about with Ziggler. He's always been phenomenal, right? So that's cool. But he just lost to Otis in a feud at Mania, and now he gets a shot at the title? Like, that seems weird. But yes, the trade was AJ for Ziggler and Rude. So, haven't seen Rude on TV in a while, but yeah, he's on Raw now, so that's going to be happening. That's fine. I would like to tag out. I would love to tag in Book a Man, but so far it has not been happening for your boy. Going to the top. In the top rope. Double underhook. Butterfly powerbomb. the Profits defended against the Viking Raiders, and that finally came to a head, and the Profits won that match, and it looks like we're going to see Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza is the next feud for those two. And there was Charlotte Flair. And I assumed the match that we were going to have was going to be a schmoz finish to build towards something more important down the line. But no, Asuka tapped out Charlotte Flair. That happened on Raw, right? But there's a caveat. And that caveat is that Nia did some damage beforehand, and Nia took out Charlotte afterwards, right? And we find out later on that Charlotte needs surgery, and that was why that happened. And got a clean win on the Queen. Otherwise, I don't think it would have happened. So they're hoping we'll see Charlotte again by SummerSlam, is what I've heard. So, Spike? Really? That's my chair. Give it back. Now give it back. Give what's back. Pop, pop! Okay, now, Spike is legal. Get in the ring, little Spike Diddley, and your diddly dog, and get this chair to the dome, sir. Booker T, doing it. Oh, sure. From behind, he attacks. This is not cool. Little Spike, little LSD, neck breaker. Oh no, I'm sorry. Gory, special, rope break. I am out of it here, and again, it don't matter if I win, if I poked in the eye. If I lose, all I care about is making it to the grandest stage of them all and being the WWE champion. Okay, so that was that. Asuka still women's champion. We'll get to her here in a little bit. Edge cut a promo saying, hey, the Rated R Superstar returns. You did it, Randy. And I'm like, I don't want to see Edge and Randy Orton for a third time. I don't need that. Edge only has so many years and matches left in his old man body. Give me somebody else. Give me Rollins. Give me AJ. Give me anybody besides Randy Orton. But that is what it is. Tozawa is your new 24/7 champion. I guess good for him. R-Truth got by the ninjas and Lashley, who beat up some ninjas. They're pairing Natalya and Lana for some reason. Beat Liv Morgan, and then afterwards there was Ruby Riott, so tag team match playa at some point. Ric Flair came out, and again, we were still in a pandemic. Someone tested positive with the company, and you're still bringing out Ric Flair on TV. What are you doing to say, hey, Randy Orton, you're the best, but, well, the Big Show responds to that. So we're going to get a Big Show Randy Orton thing in the interim until Edge returns, I suppose. Sasha and Bayley defended against the Iconics, right? And they teased the split, but Sasha challenged Asuka for Extreme Rules for that Raw Women's title. And regardless if she can even do that, because she is a SmackDown superstar, even if she's holding the tag team titles, that shouldn't mean she can challenge for a main title on Raw, for a singles title on Raw. Regardless of that, match should still be a banger. The VIP Lounge brought out Apollo Crews. MVP said he was the longest reigning US champion or something, and I'm like, that was Dean Ambrose, but semantics. Apollo beat Shelton Benjamin, and Lashley wants a piece of Apollo for that US title. Ending segment was Ray and Dominic. Out comes Seth, out comes Murphy, out comes Austin Theory, but hey, Aleister Black, Humberto, they all try doing the eye into the stairs thing and nobody gets it off. And I still think at some point down the line, Dominic is going to get turned on his dad, but hey, we'll see. I could be wrong. But that was Raw. I'm attackslug. Thanks for watching. More videos right here. I'll see you next time. And I'm out.